everyone, in this video I am going to show you how to make this cute little wolf applique that I made for my Woodland granny square afghan. I'll also link the written pattern below in the description box. So to start, we're going to make a slip knot, chain 2, and we're going to make 2 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. Chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to make 2 single crochets in each stitch across. And that should give us 4 single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. We are going to increase in the first stitch, so 2 single crochets. And then we're going to make a single crochet in the next 2. 1, 2, and then in the last stitch we're going to increase again, so 2 single crochets in that last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. Now we are on row 4. We're going to increase in the first stitch, so 2 single crochets in that first stitch. We're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have 1 stitch left in your row, and we are going to increase in that last stitch. So 2 single crochets in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. And for this row, row 5, we're just going to single crochet all the way across, and you should have 8 single crochets by the time you've reached the end of the row. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it should be looking like this. It's just a little triangle. Don't worry if your beginning has a little hole in it like mine, because we're going to sew the nose right onto that edge. So chain 1, turn your work. For row 6, we are going to increase the first stitch, so 2 single crochets, and then we are going to make a single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we will have 1 stitch at the end, and we are going to increase again, 2 single crochets in that last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 7, we're going to do the same thing. Increase in the first stitch, 2 single crochets, single crochet in the next 8 stitches. So basically single crocheting across until we get to that last stitch. And then in the last stitch we will make 2 single crochets, chain 1, turn your work. Now we are on row 8. Rows 8 through 11, we are going to do the same thing. We're just going to single crochet all the way across. And for these rows, you will have 12 stitches across. So I'm going to go ahead and do rows 8 through 11. We're just going to chain 1 in the beginning, single crochet all the way across, and repeat that. Once you finish rows 8 through 11, this is going to be all you're going to do for this main portion of the gray, so we're going to fasten off. And you should basically just have a triangle here. So now we're going to take our white, and I am using this Pipsqueak yarn. If you don't have it or you don't feel comfortable using this, you can use any other worsted weighted yarn in white. So we are going to start on the left side here, and we are going to attach the yarn between the 10th and 11th row. So right here, I'm going to attach my white. Chain up 1, and then I'm just going to single crochet evenly down this side and back up this side, and I'm going to stop between rows 10 and 11. Okay, now that I've reached the other side between rows 10 and 11, I'm going to fasten off, and I'm going to leave a tail to sew, since I'm going to sew the wolf onto a square. So this is what it should be looking like. And next we're going to work on the ears. So we're going to use the white and the gray for the ears. We're going to attach the white right to this corner up here on the right for the right ear. And again, you can use a regular worsted weighted yarn if you're not comfortable working with this fuzzy stuff. So once we have our yarn attached, we are going to make 3 single crochets across. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, turn our work. And with this, if you're using this yarn, it's more by touch that you have to feel the stitches, and I promise you, you will feel them. So we are going to do a triple decrease. So my first stitch is here. I know you can't see it, but I can feel it right here. So I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop, go into my second stitch, insert my hook, pull up a loop, my third and last stitch, insert, pull up a loop, and now you should have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all of those. And then we're just going to fasten off. And we're going to do the same thing for the left side. I'm just going to trim this little part here so I don't have too many loose ends. So for the left ear, instead of starting at this corner, we're going to count 3 in. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to attach our white yarn there. We're going to chain up 1. We're going to single crochet into that same space, and then in the next 2. So that will give us 3 single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work, and again we are going to do that triple decrease. So insert your hook in the first stitch, pull up a loop, insert in the second, pull up, in the second, pull up a loop, and in the third stitch, and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all loops, and fasten off. So once you have the white parts of the ear done, it will look something like this. We're going to go back with the gray and just go around it to complete the ears. So we're going to attach right to this edge here. Chain 1, and we're just going to single crochet evenly around the white part. And again, with this fuzzy yarn, it's hard to see where the stitches are, so it's mostly by touch. But if you're using a regular worsted weighted yarn, it will be easier to do this. So I'm just single crocheting around the ear, and then once I get back down to the head, I'm going to slip stitch across these gray stitches here until I get to the second ear. So I'm going to slip stitch over to this edge of the ear, and then now I'm going to start single crocheting around again, just like this ear. And once I get to the bottom of this ear, I'm just going to fasten off. And that completes the ears. So now we are going to work on the nose, and the eyes are simply just safety eyes. So then you can put them in wherever you'd like. And then of course you put the backings on. I usually wait until everything, like the nose, I'll do before I put the backings on, because once you get these guys on, it's basically impossible to get off. So I'm just going to lay them here because they look good for now, but I'm going to go ahead and do the nose and see if that still looks good there. For the nose, it's really easy. We're going to start with a slip knot. We're going to chain 3, and then we are just going to make a ring. So we're going to join back to that first single crochet and fasten off. And that'll just give us a circle for the nose. And we're going to use a tapestry needle to sew it on. So I sew it right here at the very tip. So once I have that on, I'll have these 2 tails in the back, and I'll simply just tie them together twice. And since I'm sewing this guy onto a square, I'll just cut them shorter and then kind of hide them behind. So that's basically it. You just have to weave in these ends. I'm going to leave this longer so I can use this to sew on a square. If you need help sewing this guy onto a square, I have a video that I will link down below that shows you 2 ways to sew appliques onto another piece of crochet. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you enjoy crochet tutorials, please subscribe to my channel, and thanks so much for watching.